times. But we do have dedicated people, and that always helps. So the people that we have, even if there's something going on at school, there's always somebody that'll pick up to help them out if they can't be there. But
Yeah.
we always have somebody in that chair.
Does that require recruitment at the beginning of each college semester? Because there's a lot of turnover in there.
There is a lot of turnover, and we're always the things we do on campus. We specifically talk to people about possibilities of employment. Most of the time when we're over there, we're talking about our services. But if we do have somebody that shows some interest in what we do, then we talk about it with them, and then bring them in for an interview.
Yeah.
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 And Todd, if I could say that all of our direct service shelter advocates that man the 24-hour crisis line have to go through the same long-standing required training through the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Domestic Violence, Pennsylvania Coalition to Advance Respect, and the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency, as well as Alice Paul House's training. All of the direct service shelter advocates that work the crisis hotline are certified to do our work and are covered under the statutory confidentiality for domestic violence and sexual assault. So it's not like we get these young individuals going to college or our community citizens that come in and just, sit on the hotline and do the work for us. They have to complete our training with an 80% or better, like any other employee, whether it's a full-time employee, part-time employee, or a relief type of staff. Anybody that works with any of our victims has to have that training. Otherwise, they can't even answer a phone.
Yeah.
So it's very important for our community to know that we have a trained advocate there at all times.
Yeah. Whitney, let's bring you into this conversation as well. As we think about the various reasons somebody might call the Alice Paul House for help, and knowing that there's somebody there 24/7 is such a wonderful benefit for them. But it requires somebody to really be dedicated to what they're doing, because you never know what that call is going to be about.
Yeah, I mean, we have the staff. I mean, I think the one time we were here, we talked about how we just received the Governor's Pathfinder Award for 2025, and that really recognizes the staff that puts in the hard work every day. We have the dedicated shelter staff that answer our crisis hotline, but we don't want to forget about our full-time staff that works Monday through Friday. They also pick up when the shelter is down and we need to fill those shifts, or they have to fill the on-call shift that we have. So not only is there a live body in our building 24 hours a day, but we have a trained staff member that's on call 24 hours a day to go out to a hospital or a police station to physically meet with that victim in person at all hours of the day if it's necessary. And if it wasn't for the staff, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Takes special people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely does. And so it brings the question then, Jamie, is there always an opportunity for someone to come and join the team?
We pretty much have opportunity on an ongoing basis, as you said about the turnover, with some of the students that graduate and move on. So yeah, we do some advertising, mostly online, but yeah, in fact we have an opening now if somebody wants to put in for it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Audia, I think one of the great things about it is, the comfort level for people to know that there always is somebody there for them, and with the reputation and the long history of service of Alice Paul House, to know that you've got that kind of a foundation that when something happens, then nobody knows when something's going to happen in their life, but to know that I can be prepared ahead of time to make that call if need be. People should really be up on this and know, because sometimes the crisis isn't even going to be within their own family. It might be a neighbor. It might be somebody else.
Very true, Todd. I wanted to highlight also that not only do they answer the crisis hotline, but my direct service shelter advocates also work with our emergency safe residential program for victims of domestic violence. They provide trauma-informed empowerment counseling to them 24/7. They review what needs are in the residential area, and they also provide the safety and security for them after hours when the building is relatively empty. we are very lucky because most of the time when we do get the college students in, they commit to us for 4 years. Whitney runs the training program, and that's one of the requirements that they're able to participate for a set amount of time if they go through the training program for us. We used to have a lot of citizens that volunteered for us, and they also completed our required training. But as time has moved on, we have less people that volunteer, and so we do staff the facility with trained advocates 24/7. And I think it's really important to understand that these individuals not only process crisis calls and provide crisis intervention, but they also determine whether or not an individual is in need of an emergency protection from abuse order or an emergency sexually violent protection order. And with that, that's when they reach out to the on-call staff to come in and accompany in person these individuals for that process at a particular schedule with our law enforcement and magistrates.
Whitney, I know that she, as Audia said, that when you're training somebody for what Alice Paul House requires, they might come with a variety of backgrounds or experiences, and some might be a little further along the road than somebody else. But because you're starting out from zero, if you will, doesn't mean you're unqualified. That there are things that you can do to get somebody trained and be put in a position where they can really be a help to somebody, and that's really a part of what it is that you do.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Our training program, when we bring a staff member on board, is intensive. We usually talk about it takes somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks to train that individual to work for us, and then we cross-train them. We're a small staff, so we man our hotline and our on-call advocacy schedule 24 hours a day, 365 days a year with a staff of 23 individuals that are full and part-time, that are putting their heart and soul into the work that they do. So we cross-train everyone from the executive director can do in-person work down to our CFO, down to myself. So everyone's cross-trained to be able to pick up the work that we're all doing in the building.
When somebody who is fresh to the business comes in and they're just getting their feet wet, I'm sure that you have people who have all kinds of different doubts or assurances about their abilities. How difficult is it to convince somebody that they can do this?
I mean, I think as if they have the skills that we're looking for when we're interviewing them, those skills are trainable. We're looking for people who are people. They can talk to people. They can have a conversation. And then we can build on those skills to create those crisis intervention skills that we need them to be able to assess the situation, to move on to an intake. Do they need on-call advocate to provide them with an emergency protection from abuse order? So those are all skills that are trainable throughout their time with us.
Yeah. So we started, Audia, talking about the fact that Alice Paul House services are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and how important that is. It's not only important from the standpoint of Alice Paul House and fulfilling your mission, but it's especially vital for those who are in that crisis moment, isn't it?
Absolutely. We get calls from all different walks of life, all different types of situations. And, many times the crisis intervention revolves mostly around kind of bringing somebody from that really heightened point in their life down to being able to process it out and figure out what the best course of action is for them. But it's important to know that there are trained advocates there. And what we look for most in those individuals is that empathy, understanding that no matter who you are, what your current situation is in life, what your financial situation is that when you need somebody and you have been victimized, that there is somebody there that can talk to you and understand what you're going through. Maybe not have walked the same path, but can help bring you to a place of looking inwardly and finding your independence. And that's really about what our work is. It's about bringing the victims to a place where they become survivors and they have their own self-sense of esteem and independence, and they can move forward and hopefully take a look at the choices they've made, the people in their lives, and how to move on away from repeating any behaviors, whether it's, generationally or a one-time event. Some of the saddest cases we see after hours are the younger folks in our community that really, are in maybe their first relationship or have come from, a home situation that wasn't great, and they have not had the time to learn what is a good environment for them. And those are the ones that we take the closest to heart because when we see these kids, and we work with kids the whole way from, birth on. We've had births with individuals that were in our residential program and raised them. We had a little girl for a year within our residential facility and helped the mom get on her feet and raise that child independently. So it's really important that the community knows that, our skill set is excellent. The work we do is just amazing, and I ask anyone that is in need of help or who has been victimized to please call us, and we will guide you. We'll never tell you what to do or make choices for you, but we'll guide you.
Very good. Alice Paul House, they join us once a month, and next month, of course, will be the December month, and of course, the holidays can be very, very difficult for folks, and maybe we'll talk about that then, or maybe we'll even schedule them for a special time to visit with us. Thanks so much for coming in today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160.